in the morning, or it's your midday rush. That's the stuff you do. It's like...
Welcome to just...
What you are.
What?
You're one of those neurotic fucking method actors who wants absolute fucking chaos on set, and you're the only one who knows what is going to happen, and you want everyone on their toes so that you get a natural reaction. And it's like, this is our 3rd episode of our podcast. You're already like acting like, I don't know, name a method actor or a method director.
Welcome to Just the Tip.
You're them.
Take 56. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate anyone who listens to this. Anyone.
So earlier tonight, I was giving Mike a massage, and
it was fabulous.
Thank you, babe. You know how people will normally give feedback that says, oh, adjust the pressure, or could you go a little bit further out? Mike's feedback to me was, can you use smaller hands?
No, bigger hands.
No, he goes, can you use bigger hands, but more like kitten paws? And I'm like, so wait, you want me to be your cat thumper? Your dead cat thumper?
Can you be my dead cat?
Okay, so we survived Seattle Snowmageddon 2019, also known as #Seattle Snowpocalypse 2019. I was snowed in the house for a total of 5 days, and I left the house on the 6th day to go to work again.
I got out like every day. Okay, so how do we... So we
How
survived,
did we survive?
Because right now it's done. Right now the snow
it's
came
done.
and gone.
So how did we survive 5 days in the house where the only time we left was only to walk the dog?
I felt like such a hipster when I put on my micro spikes and walked up the hill to Safeway.
Okay, so that brings me to the food. But last episode, I think we talked about prepping for it and what we were getting. And this episode is what we run the fuck out of. We ran out of avocado. So Mike, and we also decided we wanted to like make homemade ice cream. So
Which we did.
And it was pretty good.
We made Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie ice cream, and it was so good.
So we need ingredients, and what do you do?
I put on my micro spikes.
What are micro spikes for people who don't know?
So they're just like a little attachment you can put on a hiking boot that grips into ice. And so I walked up an icy hill a mile to Safeway, and it was awesome. I could have driven my car, but like I wanted to I just felt like I needed exercise. Yeah, I just needed my workout. So like I walked up the hill, and it was awesome.
And you got more avocados, more alcohol, and like
champagne,
avocados,
cocoa powder,
cream, 2%
cream
milk.
For the ice cream.
We drank more liquor in 5 or 6 days than we have in like a year. I determined that when you're stuck in the house, we were making home cooked meals. Just like you end up having sex, drinking champagne, having home cooked meals. And I know for a fact there are going to be so many kids who end up being born come November. We're going to just call them Snowmageddon / Snowpocalypse Babies. And I finally got it. I was like, good thing we're Team IUD, because like everyone's going to have a kid by the end of the year.
Yeah, it was good quality time.
Amazing quality time. Mike hates binge watching TV unless it's Jeopardy.
No, I'm kind of getting sick of it too.
You're getting sick of Jeopardy?
I've just done it too much.
Oh, funny thing, this morning Jeopardy's on, and this guy is like, I'm Ken Jennings, and I'm like, oh my god, I've watched this show so much, I know that he's relevant. And then Mike is like,
no, because you complained, because you were like, I'm pissed that I even know who Ken Jennings is.
And then
I said, well, I'm pissed I know who Stassi is.
So, do you guys watch Vanderpump Rules? Because Mike's upset he has to know who Stassi is.
I mean, I don't mean to single her out. I could have said Jax. I could have said any name. I could have said James.
Do you know a fourth person?
Oh,
give me a fourth.
Fuck. What's her name? What's the matriarch's name?
I'm not gonna give it to you.
Lady Sir.
Her name is Lisa Vanderpump, and the show is
Vanderpump.
literally called Vanderpump Rules. Let's just keep going. So we binge watched Russian Doll, pretty good series. I recommend it. And we
binged it hard, like in a whole 2 days.
Russian Doll was like 3 days.
Okay.
And then we binge watched a show on Hulu called Pin 15.
Yeah, we did that in like 2 days.
Oh, and it's so good. It's so nostalgic.
If you like,
If you love
they're
7th grade.
Yeah, if you love 7th grade and thinking about it.
It's like Abby Alana-ish.
Yeah, totally.
But if they were in junior high. But what I think is awesome about the creators of the show, they play themselves as actors. They're in real life like 31, and the rest of the cast is fucking 13. So they really do, it was meant to look awkward, but they look really fucking old next to these people, and it's actually hilarious. They also look
pretty young, though, but it is hilarious. But they do a pretty good job of blending in. I mean,
Yeah. They do a pretty good job of blending in. So in the show, it's going over 7th grade, and it covers all of these first things.
In Pen 15.
Yes, in Pen 15 on Hulu, and it covers your first kiss, the first time they're masturbating, their first cigarette, their first drink, their first relationship.
It's kind of like live action Big Mouth.
Yeah. But actually, I was talking to a girlfriend about it, and she says that she wishes they would have gone the Big Mouth route and made
just been
them
fully gross.
Well, no, and made them more like characters, like cartoons, so that she finds it distracting because she said the women look like they're 45, which they don't, but she feels they do. So she said it's distracting because you have 31-year-olds acting next to 13-year-olds. Anyway, I really think you should watch the show. And it made me think about first. So, Mike, you were saying that what stands out to you is your first cigarette.
Yeah, because they do their first cigarette in the show.
And where was that?
And, well, mine was at a friend's house. We, like, snuck out at night and then went to he had a long driveway. It was like a wooded long driveway. So we went out to the end of his driveway.
If your mom is listening, she's figuring out whose house
yeah,
this is right
yeah.
now.
And, like, I just remember coughing so hard and being like, why would anyone ever want to smoke this?
Does that person smoke right now?
Like the same person who said that, me?
No, the same person who was there with you for your first cigarette.
Oh, God, no. He smokes, like, a lot.
That's what I meant. Like I said, does he smoke? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was 3 of us, and 2 of us, like, just think of it as, like, it's like a treat. It's like a piece of cheesecake, you know? You don't eat it all the time, but, like...
You think cigarettes is like dessert?
It's not dessert flat out. It's, like, a single dessert.
Cigarette smoking is literally a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I don't like
For anyone listening,
cigarettes.
we've been engaged since June.
It's not all dessert. It's a single dessert that you only have. It's like a dessert you have on your birthday. Kind of
okay, you remember the first time you masturbated?
Yeah. So I remember.
Is this the one where you talked about the shower? How you would you masturbated in the shower and had the picture angled on the outside?
I was not prepared to talk about that.
Sorry.
I just remember. Well, I mean, I'm sure. Who hasn't masturbated in the shower?
With the photo delicate. No, the funny part of the story is that he left the picture in the bathroom.
Oh God, I left it.
And his mom found like his porn.
Oh.
Well, she just threw it out, right? She never talked to you about it.
I mean, I don't know what she did with it. I'm assuming she threw it out.
What was your first time?
It was like there was a rumor going around amongst people that there was this like website where if you went to it, there were pictures of naked women. I mean, this is how young we were. And like the internet was still young, mind you. Like that's how old the internet was.
Mike, calm down, you're 30.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, anyways.
You literally turned 30
still,
last month.
I was young.
Last month you were 29.
Still, I was young. The internet was very young, and like we heard about this thing, and then so like I went to it one day when I was like home alone, prior to that, someone had told me, like one of my friends told me, like, yeah, like you go to that and you see the naked pictures, and then you like your dick gets hard, and then you rub it, and then like stuff comes out, and it's like I remember somehow like it just sounded like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, that's something I should do. So like I remember like first chance I got. Typed in that like one website that everyone was talking about. It was www.britneyspears.com.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. And then I remember getting like nervous and like cold and sweaty as soon as I saw these like pictures of these images. I'd never seen these images before. I was just like, oh my god, it's weak. And then I masturbated, of course. And then told my friends about it.
But you didn't even know, like you had no concept of what you were doing.
No, I learned about it from a friend just being like, yeah, you like rub your penis and that feels really good. And somehow it just sounded right.
Did he say to have any type of lubricant?
No, fuck that. I didn't use lubricant until like a year after I met you.
Oh my god, you're fucking lying.
Just an animal.
Are you serious?
Not even a year after you. Probably like the day I met you. No, I'm kidding. I've used lubricant for a few years before that.
Okay, do you remember your first drink?
Yeah. So my buddy somehow got a beer, like from his parents' garage, and like we were home alone at my mom's house. Sorry, Mom. We went out in the backyard and like drank a beer in the back, split a Bud Heavy in the backyard out of a can. It's just a regular Bud Light. I'm not a Bud Light, sorry. Regular Bud Light.
We were drinking a Bud Light Lime.
Yeah. We were drinking a Bud Light Platinum. No, it was just a Bud Heavy out of a can, like the old school white cans with a thin red trim. And then we tossed the can like into a neighbor's yard or something.
What trashy kids.
Yeah, because you'd think I don't even want to say that. Yeah, we were trash.
And finally, do you remember your first relationship?
My first relationship?
Yeah, like when you were in junior high, elementary, whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you?
I don't even remember my first relationship. But I remember my first kiss, and I remember my first drink. My first kiss was at like this teen, like not like a preteen dance party that would happen at the community center. God, the suburbs. And I remember like, I think I kind of was dating someone. I don't even remember, but it's just like everyone was in a circle and there's all this pressure because it's like people are going to kiss each other. And it's the most bizarre thing to be doing all of this like in this group. It's like fucking group think. But anyway, I kissed this guy and it was like my first French kiss. And I just remember like having my eyes closed and doing what I thought you should do, but also being in the middle of a circle of people who were watching.
Do you remember, like, people were watching you?
Yeah, they were my age though. It wasn't like an
I get it.
Like, and then my first drink, oh shit, I think my first drink I had, one of my friends at the time, like she didn't have a lot of supervision, let's just say that. And the first drink I had was like a half a shot of vodka. This is in maybe like 8th grade or something, or 7th grade, I don't remember. Maybe 4th grade. No, it wasn't that young, I'm joking, Mom.
I don't think I had my first
drink. It was for sure. It was like 8th grade, and I had half a shot of vodka, and I was so drunk. Yeah, it was one of those situations.
I remember like having like a shot and then being like dizzy, like having to lay down.
You're like that now because we don't drink that often.
Yeah.
Outside of like how much we drank during Snowmageddon.
I'm a lightweight. I always wanted to be a heavyweight, but I'm not, and I can't practice enough.
So finally, something that you were talking about is working for the weekend.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just the hashtag for like your 30s. Hashtag working for the weekend.
Like I just find myself excited to have days off. And for me, in my current like role, like the work doesn't go away. I still like wherever I leave it on Friday, I got to pick it back up on Monday. And it's just super like working I'm just excited to have a couple days off. And then, but I just got to pick right back up. I think it's also fair
to say you used to work nights and you used to work on this rotating schedule. So every other week you would have 5 days off in a row. And you had that for over 5 years.
I had it for like 4 years.
Yeah. So I think it's a big transition to go from like grinding it out 1 week and then having almost a week of vacation every other week.
Yeah.
So your time has drastically changed. But yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like I feel very like blessed and like fortunate to have a job, obviously. I know. And there's so many things going on in this world that you don't want to like sound ungrateful. Yeah. But I definitely think that I'm feeling like the pressure of trying to find balance.
So I'll say, I want to say before we sign off tonight, thank you so much everyone for listening.
Thank you for making it this far. Thumbs up if you made it this far.
Thumbs up. So, okay, if you made it this far, then you're probably already like,
I think we're over 15.
Yeah. Okay. Love you. Bye. No. Okay. So, quick PSA. If you're still listening, if you find yourself in a position of power over anyone in the workplace, or even just next to a person in the workplace, I think especially it's hard for white people, especially if you're in the majority. It's not extremely hard. It's extremely common for people to overlook the minority experience and to not try to educate themselves about it, and to not even consider it whatsoever. Just to not, because it's not your own perspective, it's not your own experience. So how often are you really going to think about the experience of others? I mean, if you're like ignorant and in the majority, very common to do that. People in the majority, white people especially, in this country, we're in the majority, you got to consider the experience of others and use your power in a good way to build up the people around you, and just do what you can to be better and try to promote other people around you. Build your own people, because what happens if you don't develop the people around you and help them? Well, then you're stuck with people who didn't get help of any kind. I don't know.
I think what you're just trying to say is, I think you're coming from a perspective of, if you're going to be an ally to someone, you actually need to do the work to understand their experience. And
then I went into like kind of staff development, because that's like what I
but you're also then you went back to work.
Then I went back to work.
But no,
okay,
I think it's a really good tip, and I think that it's something that you're seeing in this world. And I think also we started talking about how next week is our anniversary of like 3 years from our first date. And I think that you were saying, I asked you what have you learned really in those 3 years, and you shared that you had learned what it was like for like a Black female perspective, living with me and seeing things through a different lens so intimately. And I get to understand, I mean, granted, you're like the traditional white male perspective is literally society. But living intimately with you, we've been able to share culturally different things. And I think we've benefited so much from being this close to one another.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't learn what it's like to be a woman. I mean, even though I grew up with women, my mom and sister didn't share with me like daily happenings to them, or they didn't share with me their fear of like walking alone at night. Like things that I take for granted and that I have the privilege of not even having an iota of a thought about. They didn't like share with me that, but you share that with me. So now I've like actually seen like, what it's like to be a woman, and the things that I don't have to think about. Yeah. And then the things that I don't have to think about as being a white guy.
I think that you just did a privileged circle jerk on yourself, and that may be a good place to end. Oh, great. With all the things you don't have to think about.
Think about all that shit I shared. Just fucking circle jerking my privilege around.
I love you.
I love you too.
It's Valentine's Day, guys.
It's Valentine's Day.
I mean, not just guys, but like people, because, you know, who gives a fuck about a binary? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.